Alexander Baina here and welcome to Chalk Talk. Today's episode we will be talking about conservation and preservation. We protect our natural resources by the proper use of nature, and this is called conservation. The four types of conservation are environmental conservation, animal conservation, marine conservation, and human conservation. How can one take part to conserve our environment? The first is recycling. This is the buying of reusable and biodegradable products. Think of products or materials that can be reused at home. You don't need to throw glass bottles. Know that it takes 1,000,000 years for glass to decompose. So this requires you to rethink, re-engineer, and to reinvest. Second is reduction of water consumption. We now can feel the scarcity of drinking water due to pollution and contamination. El Niño in the Philippines causes water source to dry up, especially in highly urbanized areas like Manila. Even in our community, it is not advisable to drink tap water because most of us do not have the tolerance to this kind of water. Conservation of water can be done by the reduction of the water consumption. In other words, we will just use water wisely and consciously. Third is reduction of the use of electricity. We are now significantly experiencing a bottleneck in the supply of energy in our country. This is due to an increasing population, and this equates to increasing demand in power. Soon we will have a depleted energy source by 2024, and not to mention the high electricity cost in our country. Most of the power plants or power companies in our country utilizes fossil fuels with coal, natural gas, and oil. However, almost 74% of this is mainly coal, contributing to global warming and climate change. Next is to plant a tree. It is said that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today. Trees provide us with food, shelter, it provides us with oxygen, habitat, and sustain our biodiversity. It is also encouraged to go organic. This lowers the risk of environmental pollution and helps reduce greenhouse gas, because organic farming is restricting the use of manufactured chemical fertilizers and pesticides, at the same time reducing the burning of fossil fuels. Use of compost. Compost adds nutrients to the soil. It introduces organisms to the soil, such as microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. These microorganisms help in the decomposition of organic materials. Compost also recycles kitchen and yard waste, reduces landfill waste, and they are good for the environment. Since we are living in the digital age, at least each one of us has a gadget. We are encouraged to use rechargeable batteries and rechargeable devices. Using rechargeable batteries, this reduces waste and is good for the environment. Rechargeable devices and batteries can be charged up to 500 times and will still retain 85% of their capacity after a year of use. And finally, quit smoking. Tobacco products, including cigarette butts, are toxic chemicals that contaminate our waterways and ground soil. This harms our wildlife. Tobacco production uses more water and wood and has the most pesticide applied than most crops. These are a few of the things that you can do to help conserve our environment. Now that you know what conservation is, We will now be moving on to the next concept, and sometimes we interchange this word with conservation. When the environment is protected and keeping nature into its natural state, this is called preservation. The first national park in the world that is an example of the concept of preservation is the Yellowstone National Park. And this is the best photo that can describe preservation, the Yellowstone National Park. A defined geographical area like the Lake Balinsasayao, recognized and managed through legal means to achieve the long-term conservation of nature, is called a protected area. The goal for having a protected area is to safeguard biodiversity, maintaining ecosystem balance, preserving important habitats, building resilience to climate change, providing global food security, maintaining water quality, and conserving natural resources. The management of the defined marine area to conserve for economic resources, biodiversity conservation, and species protection is called a marine protected area. The Apo Island is one of the best diving sites in the world due to its rich marine biodiversity. Apo Island is a marine protected sanctuary.